Gremlins grind on my greasy groin. 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 Hello, boys. Today we watched The Goodbye Girl. Quite an unconventional pick, but
this is an unconventional show.
Yeah, there we go. This was a movie that I watched a long time ago, and I love Richard Dreyfuss, and this was his Oscar winner. So when I was younger, I was like, I have to watch this movie, and for whatever reason, I bought it, and it's the movie that I have to kind of explain. If someone sees it and looks at the cover, they'd be like, what's this? And I'll be like, well, let me explain. And so it has a little special little place in my heart. How'd you guys feel?
We're gonna need a bigger apartment.
And that's the end of the review. Is that all you have to say?
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was good. I didn't know what to expect. Like you said, from the cover, you just don't know what you're getting.
Yeah, I felt like if I was going to say Richard Dreyfuss in the mirror, he would appear and kill me or something.
There were a lot of mirrors in this movie.
Yeah.
There were.
A lot of shots in the mirrors that apparently were confusing you guys.
He's definitely...
Only the one.
But he had one, and then
one.
you had one as well. So that's why it's funny to me.
I was referencing the Bye Bye Man, which sounds similar to the title of Goodbye.
It makes a brilliant double feature to watch.
Yes.
The Goodbye Girl and then the Bye Bye Man.
One is better than the other. We'll let you decide.
It's a pretty standard romantic comedy where the girl is out of her luck with the whole dating scene, and then she meets this unconventional guy that she's like, I don't like you. And he's like, I don't very much like you neither. And then they just kind of bicker and bicker until they fall in love.
Yeah. They made a point that she was old, and because she's a dancer or something, and they're like,
she used to be a good dancer, and
yeah,
now she's
and they're
old.
she's too old now. And she was like, I'm 33. And I was like, oh my God, no, that's not old.
Guess in the comments how old Levi is.
Very old.
I bet you can't.
Bet you can't guess.
Past their prime, have nothing left to live for.
Except for a man.
Yeah, maybe some man. No, not a man, a woman. Well,
or a man.
Yeah.
Levi is open.
No, I'm not. Anyway, so Chris, what'd you think about the romance?
It was... Are you interviewing me now?
I am. I'm trying to kind of push that away.
Okay.
Would like to hear what you thought of the romance.
Oh, I thought it was good. Really, the whole thing was driven by his performance, Richard Dreyfuss's performance.
Sure.
He's pretty great in this.
For me, him and the little girl with her kind of wiser than her age kind of
sad.
Which is something that you see a lot of, but I feel like it was done more I don't know, it felt okay in this.
She wasn't too much.
Yeah.
Because there's some movies or
Where,
TV
the kids
shows
are doing their parents' taxes or something, and their parents are like, how are you doing that? And they're like, oh, no, I'm just older than my age.
Or they just they try to crack wise, but it's more obnoxious and snarky and rude.
She still sounds like a kid when she's cracking wise.
Yeah, but it's more she, because of the home that she grew up in, she it's just she has had to grow up a little more, and she's also very perceptive instead of just being a smart ass.
Yeah.
Although she's a little stinker sometimes.
I did like that, how much they involved her in the story. He basically takes her out on a little date to kind of be like, do you like me as much as like your mom and I like each other, sort of thing. Like he wanted to make sure that she likes him, like even though like she might have a little like reservations about him or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was kind of like a sweet thing, like that you don't see much of.
He wants her approval
Yeah.
too. Something that she particularly doesn't like. She doesn't like to be called kid, which they like establish in like a line of dialogue. Maybe one other time she's like,
A couple times, yeah.
don't call me kid. But he meets her kind of more on like a human level rather than like I'm the adult, you're the kid. Like he talks to her like a person, and I like that. And that's why he's different than probably Tony.
That's some nice little things thrown in there.
Yeah, it's very dialogue-y, which was nice. Like the writing of the dialogue was pretty decent. Some parts
It does feel like a play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's a little too airtight.
It may even been a play. I don't remember if.
One thing I noticed was like they're struggling actors and dancers and stuff like that. They're in New York. Pretty decent apartment for $400
in the 70s.
I guess that maybe that must have been the time. I don't know. And they were like arguing over $14. She needed like $14, and I was like, "What is that gonna buy you? An ice cream cone?" Like, I guess times were different back then.
It's funny how this movie was up for Best Picture against the likes of Annie Hall and Star Wars. That's a pretty high achievement.
Did it win?
No. Annie Hall won.
But just to be nominated. I feel like this had a little more than Annie Hall. Like I liked this better. That's just my opinion.
But when Annie Hall sings, "The sun will come up tomorrow," don't you like that part?
Levi hasn't seen Annie Hall.
That's a pretty good part. I'm not a huge Woody Allen fan, but we're not talking about Woody Allen right now.
Nope.
We're talking about The Goodbye Girl. I almost said The Bye Bye Man. But there was one line that struck me just right here, just right here. When he finds out he's getting a part and he has to go up to Seattle to start filming, and she is setting herself up for being hurt again, and him leaving. He said, "I hate him. I hate all of those men that walked out, because I'm the one who has to carry the burden. I'm the one that has to take the fall for it." And it was a great line, because it's true. You pick up all these all this baggage that and you have to let go of that stuff.
There's a little bit of that line though that makes me think of him being like, "I'm the nice guy," sort of feeling.
Puts on the fedora.
Didn't we talk about that earlier, where he's like, if you smiled a little bit more, you'd be prettier or something?
No, I didn't feel like that was him saying
That's
that.
more
that
of
was
a
him saying
context
she just needs to be a little more nicer. That's what he's talking about.
All right.
I mean, the more problematic moment for me was when he forces to kiss her at one point.
Whoa, when he locks them both in the bathroom
while he's trying to
but she's
there's some chemistry going on there.
but it's still
laughing,
a little.
She's laughing,
Chris.
and I'm not saying that it was right. I'm just saying
it was hot.
I wish Richard Dreyfuss would do that to me.
It's funny because last video we did was Romeo and Juliet, and this had Richard III, so kind of an indirect, back-to-back Shakespearean.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that whole subplot.
I don't know how you did, because the Richard III they decided to do was pretty interesting.
But that's the point. The point is that he's forced to do Richard III as the stereotypical flaming homosexual character.
Yeah, well, but it's probably a poking fun at like the experimental theater, art in its
like
truest
how
form.
big they are, and how much flamboyancy they want in their shows.
Is that Richard bad?
He's not wrong. One of my favorite parts of this movie was there's a part where Richard Dreyfuss is trying to comfort the daughter because she has a tummy ache. And while he was playing and like humming with her, just here in my ear, I hear.
That's not what happened.
I heard you humming.
No, that's not what happened. It was when they were on the rooftop and they were singing for dinner. I was humming to that because it was beautiful.
Okay.
Get it right.
he was humming to it, and I was like, "Oh, Levi's falling in love."
Yeah, so it was when they're falling in love.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Chris, what are you gonna give this one?
I give it a good side thumb. Probably a thumbs up. For Richard Dreyfuss, I'll give it a thumbs up because I thought he was great. I thought his performance was very captivating. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up for Richard.
The third.
Yeah. Oh.
Can we get 3 thumbs up?
Oh.
What do you think, Levi?
So I would not pick this film off of the shelf.
Okay.
I would have considered it to be dumb just by the cover and by the title. But when we watched it, I enjoyed myself. Shed a little tear here and there. Learned to love again. And so I am kind of teetering between side thumb and thumbs up. I'm not really an actor kind of person. I don't really care for like acting. I like the writing more, and this was an actor's film. It was like showing off their chops, I think. That's what I got. So I will, for Keegan, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Wow.
Just 1 thumbs up.
Join us, Keegan.
I feel pressured because, I mean, I was kind of like you. I was kind of teetering between a middle of the road. Like, this is pretty good and mostly elevated by Richard Dreyfuss.
You can't give it a worse one than I gave it.
I mean, I can. I'm going to give it like it's a good movie, but I'm giving a side thumb.
I think this is the first time that you've rated one
something.
of yours lower than both of us. Even one of us.
I mean, like, I still think it's
nice.
like...
Side thumb.
That's why I was like...
No,
why?
I'll stick with a thumbs up.
It worked. Levi got me to make it a thumbs up.
It's a miracle.
But just barely.